Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all already know who this is. This is Ron the fucking Don. Let me move over here with some light real quick. Alright. As y'all heard recently, within recent week or so, that Russia has invaded Ukraine. An all-out invasion, according to the American media. But I thought from last week, I thought that they wasn't, that Russia was pulling back troops. Now all of a sudden it's a full invasion. How you go from pulling back troops to or all of a sudden a full invasion? I don't understand that. But you know, this is what the American media do. They warmonger, they like to fear people, they like to scare people into agreeing with their agenda, into going along with their agenda, so that way we can support the war. Excuse me. Yeah, so one question I have to ask is, what the fuck does Ukraine has to do with us? Ukraine is on the other side of the globe, all the way on the other side of the world, probably close to 1,000,000 miles away from us, probably more than that. So what the fuck does that got to do with us living here in America? That's the problem with the U.S. government. They always want to interfere, put their nose in somebody else's business. It don't matter whether it's a Democrat or Republican. They have a bad habit of sticking their nose in somebody else's business when we got problems here at home. You still dealing with a pandemic. We still dealing with a homeless population. We still dealing with unemployment. We still dealing with a job loss. We still dealing with a recovering economy. We still dealing with inflation, rising cost of gas prices, and he wants to worry about this jackass we have as a president, that we have for President Joe Biden. He wants to worry about Ukraine. I don't know who's a bigger jackass, him or George W. Bush. I don't know, because they both do the same dumb shit. But anyway, I think Biden's probably worse because he's old and has low cognitive function and stuff like that. He's a cognitive mess. So, you know, it's funny how he's more worried about Ukraine's border than he is about the southern border here in America, where we got illegal immigrants coming in and taking away jobs from the American people, from the legalized American people, but yet he's worried about the Ukrainian border. But anyway, back to the topic though. This is what America side of the media. This is what America media don't tell you. They don't tell you the other side of the story. They don't tell you how Ukraine was once a part of the Soviet Union until 1991. That's when they gained their independence. They don't tell you that side of the story. They don't tell you the side of the story where that the U.S. back in 2014, when Obama was in office, the U.S. planned a coup against the Ukrainian president that happened to be pro-Russia, and they ousted him, and he ran for the hills. So he was no longer the president, and they put in exchange to put Zelensky, the current president we have now, in there to replace the pro-Russian president. They don't tell you that though. Yeah, Ukraine was once a part of the Soviet Union, so why the fuck do we need to be over there? And plus, Ukraine is a lot closer to Russia than they are to us. So why the fuck are we over there? What business do we have in Ukraine? I know what business we have in Ukraine. We had that Nord Stream 2 pipeline that goes from Russia to Germany, and we also have Nord Stream 1 pipeline that goes through Ukraine, and they supply Russia supplies Europe with 40% of its natural gas resources. So yeah, I get it. That's what it is. It's over that Nord Stream 2 pipeline. I get it now. No wonder why the U.S. wants to be over there, because they don't want Europe to be dependent on Russia and put us onto the back burner. I get it now. I get it now. And it's also, they also want Europe to use more clean renewable energy. Like this whole, they want us to get more renewable energy for that climate change, for the climate change agenda. Okay, I get it, because they both, Europe, Western Europe, and the U.S. is both part of the Paris Climate Accord. So that's what it is. I think that's the issue here we have. So it's really more over the resources and natural gas and oil, the resources that happens to be in Ukraine and Russia as well. So that's the moral of the story. But yeah, the other side of the story they don't tell you is that Russia, this supposed invasion by Russia is they're coming into parts of Ukraine that's independent. See, the independent parts, it happens to be, they're not actually part of Ukraine. They happen to be next to Ukraine, like these regions. Just like how Canada and Mexico is right next to the U.S., it's the same thing. These territories are independent territories that happens to be next to Ukraine. So technically, Russia is not invading Ukraine. They're invading the territories and the regions that's independent that happens to be next to Ukraine. So they tell you that, the U.S. media tells you that's that way they can get us on board to support the war with Russia, Ukraine, and to help out Ukraine. And Joe Biden says, okay, the Biden administration says, no, we don't have no intent on fighting Russia. Okay, if you have troops in Germany, Poland, and Romania, and all across Western Europe, right next to the Russian troops, that's on the border of Ukraine, and you say you have no intentions on fighting Russia, what the fuck you think is going to happen? One wrong move, if a nigga even blinks wrong from either side, it could lead into a nuclear war, just like that. And that's what people don't realize. People don't realize that Russia has nuclear weapons. Their nuclear weapons is almost as powerful as ours. So this could lead into a nuclear war. So a lot of these jackasses don't think about that, because all they care about is the defense contractors and the weapon manufacturers. That's all they care about. But they're not going to tell, the American media is not going to tell us that, because they want us to support their agenda. So it's the same thing. Biden is lying about the bullshit, is lying about the invasion, is lying the same way George W. Bush lied about the Saddam Hussein having weapons of mass destruction. The only difference is Biden's lying about Russia really invading Ukraine. All these territories are independent, but that's the moral of the story. And Biden is also a bad negotiator. I blame this on him. He's such a bad negotiator. All Putin wanted was for the U.S. to recognize that Ukraine is not going to be part of NATO. That's all he wanted, and to get the troops out of Eastern Europe. That's all Putin wanted. And Biden, he was like, for whatever reason, him and his little cronies in his administration is like, oh, nah. So I blame this shit on him. Okay, the whole Russian and U.S. conflict goes happened way before Biden. Yes, it happened since after World War II with the whole Cold War situation. It happened since then. It happened way before Biden. But Biden just lit the match and set the shit on fire. And now everything is in flames. And you're talking about we had no intentions on fighting Russia. What the fuck you think is going to happen with the U.S. troops and the Russian troops near the same place? What the fuck you think is gonna happen? This dude is a moron. He is a moron with his low cognitive abilities. So anyway, that'll be all I have for today. That's my input on this. And hopefully, when I do my next video, hopefully the tensions will be resolved, which I doubt, because war makes business and war equals ratings for the news, for the mainstream news media outlets. So they're going to warmonger and all that bullshit just so they can get ratings too, to keep us in tune with shit. You know. But anyway, that'll be all I have for y'all today. I'll catch you in my next video. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment below. All right? Peace.